God. They pick out a group, and they say these people are no good. They are inferior. Get rid of them.
Dirty Jew.
Joseph, don't go out! Joseph!
Nineteen 41, 42, 43 was another time, Mr. Stone. In Germany, we lived with fear. We slept with it.
And camera 2.
You see, today, it is difficult for anyone, but especially for the young people, who have known no other life, to imagine what Hitler's Germany was like for a teenager who happened to be Jewish.
Ready, 3.
I was one of only 7 survivors of a transport of 1,000 people of about my age who entered Auschwitz with me.
God. 3.
This is Speak to the Nation, and I'm Jed Stone. We are talking today with Everett Solomon.
Hey, Mark, listen to this.
A philanthropist, industrialist, individualist, world leader and thinker, and spokesman for international peace. Mr. Solomon, what are your feelings concerning the rise of neo-Nazi cultism?
The world has always mirrored its own history. It isn't surprising that the mirror some of these people hold up to themselves is Nazi Germany.
People like Gary Yarbrough.
Mark.
Ah, yes.
What?
Gary
I want you to listen to this.
Oh, sorry. Well, this being a paramedic is tough. We made 3 calls, saved 2 lives. I mean, I'm only human. I get tired.
Just listen, okay?
The talk show host who used his program as a forum. He once told a Seattle Times reporter of teaching his daughter, his 3-year-old daughter, how to kill Jews. He said, someday she'll be a fine marksman, firing bullets into the heads of kikes.
What does the name Jan Balk mean to you?
Yes, Jan Balk, self-styled terrorist.
Hey, Mom!
Spent
Mom,
half
they're
of his
talking
life
about
in
Dad
jail.
on TV!
And even those people didn't like him. Today, he surrounded himself with thugs.
You've met him?
Never. Met many like him. They speak for God. They pick out a group, and they say these people are no good. They are inferior. Get rid of them. Only they know. No one else knows. The true fanatic.
Dirty Jew.
Joseph?
Alistair cut his throat.
Continues. After all these years, the hate continues.
Papa, what? No, I'm gonna call.
It's all right.
I'm gonna make a call. Just
All right, Joseph, it's all...
No hospital.
Dad, you have at least got to go in and
No, what are they going to tell me? I need a new heart? In 43, I was an experiment. Since then, I've needed a new heart. But I'm here. I saw my father led away to the ovens. The last thing he said to me was, live. I'm here. I'm here.
Mr. Solomon, you should be kept under observation.
I said no hospital.
All right, then at least let us watch you here, just to keep an eye on you in case.
That's why a man has a son. He's very capable, I assure you. A 3-day high-level peace conference here. I have to be here. I'm the voice of moderation. Too many old fighters ready to draw their weapons. Everything is a plot, a comic book mentality. No, my friend. The world is not an old western street with a shootout at high noon that will answer all questions. No, I have to remind them. They occasionally listen to me.
And this time you should listen to me. You have to be under observation. You have a place here you can put us up.
It's not necessary.
Dad, come on now. You won't go to the hospital? You won't let me call the police?
Oh, that's all we need. An armed camp. We'll be okay.
Look, then at least let these men keep an eye on you, okay? Please.
All right. All right.
We have a gardener's cottage on the back.
It'll be fine.
Hey, Mr. Solomon, why don't you take a little more of this?
I'll take 3. I'll stay with these. Okay. I'll raise you 2. Damn dog. Can't hardly hold these cards.
You did good, Cal.
I thought it'd be on TV. That Jew's got a rep.
What do you got, all hearts? Oh, we'll get on TV, all right. The whole country's gonna be watching our rally.
I never thought we'd get a permit.
This is a democracy, isn't it? We're even gonna have special police protection.
Jan? Jan?
Just a minute. What do you want?
Rolf should be upstairs, honey. He's got homework to do.
He'll be up when he's done.
Done what?
Cleaning guns.
Jan, I don't like him down here. He's too young.
Too young for what? To know the truth? To know that we're in a fight for our very lives?
He's only a boy.
That's why he should be down there with us now. So that he knows who the enemy is. So that when he grows up, he'll be fighting right alongside with us.
Why do you keep talking about fighting all the time? How can you fight with a handful of men?
Hitler started with less.
Sometimes you scare me.
Sometimes I scare a lot of people. But that's okay. This country's going straight to hell, May. There's a lot of godless people out there. Inside our government. Eating it away. I'm gonna put a stop to it. You'll see. So he'll come up when he's done. Okay? Okay.
Well, I would just like to know who did it. Look, it could have been anybody. Just don't get involved.
It's his locker, Lube, and he is involved. In Germany, the Jews didn't want to get involved. They didn't want to make trouble. They were rounded up without trouble and went to the death camps.
Look, Joe, they're just baiting on you because your dad was on TV. You don't have to do anything.
You do what you want. I'm going to that rally tomorrow.
You're asking for trouble.
I'm a Jew. A Jew has to be used to trouble.
No, I think Arthur's right. What are you gonna gain?
You're starting to sound like your father.
What do you mean?
Soft. That's what I mean. There's one way to stop these Nazis, and that's to get rid of them. An eye for an eye.
No. No, that is their way, not ours. We have minds and we've got to use them. We've got to learn to live together and stop the hate.
Sounds like one of your father's speeches.
So what if it is?
I thought your father was at Auschwitz.
He was.
Then he's got a short memory. Like I said, I'm going to that rally.
Hi, Joseph, off to school.
Yeah. Just wish I didn't have to go.
You've heard my speeches. You have much more to learn at school.
I know.
What's wrong?
Yeah, it's nothing, Dad.
Nothing, Dad, with a voice that says plenty. What is it? What is it?
It's Paul Hiller.
Oh, Paul, your friend. Oh, the fighter, the critic. What now?
Dad, he says that you're soft. That you've forgotten what it was like.
He said that?
Yeah.
After all he's been through?
I know. No, it's stupid to let it bother me.
I understand. Better than you know. He thinks I take the easy way. Do you think I could ever forget what it was like?
No, sir.
Never. There isn't a moment that it isn't with me. Not a moment. The day the Nazis took my father and mother to the truck. They said the women were going to work at the mill. My father kissed my mother. She got on the truck. And they closed the doors. The SS officer in charge then told the waiting husbands to take a hose, connect it from the exhaust pipe to an opening in the rear of the truck. Of course, your grandfather and all the other prisoners refused. Then the officer said, if they don't, he will kill all of them and their children. And so they connected the hose. And my father had to stand by the truck until the screaming stopped. So you see, what I do is not easy. But I must do it. Now go and learn something.
Cal, circulate in the crowd, start your applause, and keep your eye open.
Don't you worry none. You just give 'em hell.
And Cal, be cool. You are going to be on TV.
Yeah, right. Hey, Ralph, what do you think of your daddy?
Well, he's gonna be an important man after today. Right, Dad?
Gentlemen, today we take a meat axe to the system.
Rolf, I love the way your daddy talks.
The conference started. Just hope everything's all right.
You look nervous. What's the matter? The boss tell you something?
No. It's just a feeling I've got, that's all.
See all those stretch limos out there? Must be 20 of them parked all over the place.
Yeah, big day.
What is it anyhow? Some kind of think tank? I don't understand. Who's here? Are they politicians or what?
Intellectuals, educators, people gathering to try to find answers to impossible questions.
And they all come to his home. I mean, no flags, no fanfare. I mean, one minute nobody's here, the next minute... Oh, he must be quite a guy. How's he look?
Oh, pale. Stayed up all night working on a speech.
Oh, I'm amazed he's still around after all the stuff he's been through.
He won't let himself die. As long as men are still wearing swastikas on their arm.
I'm going to the rally. I want you to go with me.
Killer, I've got to get home.
They're recruiting at your school. There was a star in your locker. You can't let her ride. Did you read the newspaper last night? I cut this out. I want you to hear it. It's written by a German pastor in Berlin in the 1930s. They came first for the communists, and I didn't speak up because I wasn't a communist. They came for the Jews, and I didn't speak up because I wasn't a Jew. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I didn't speak up because I wasn't a trade unionist. Then they came for the Catholics, and I didn't speak up because I was a Protestant. Then they came for me, and by that time, no one was left to speak up. We have to go, Joe.
Great events occur because many small events occur. The hate spreaders reject this view of life. They simplify everything. They will always find some group responsible for every tragedy. Why? Why? Because if you can blame someone, you can make yourself a leader who will avenge the wrong. So they fan the flames of hatred until the people no longer use reason. They think of only one thing: destroy that group, the enemy, blacks, Jews, Chicanos.
We will no longer tolerate government by the minority. For the minority, there is no way a free society can evolve peacefully from a society that succumbs to Jewish corruption. We do not pay taxes to support our government. No, we pay them to support Israel. Think about that. The Jew, he is smart. He hides behind politicians with names like Smith, like Jones. But the money for their campaigns comes from men with names like Goldberg and Cohen. We will not. We must not. We cannot let this continue.
Hey, Mark, have you seen Joseph?
No.
Not up in his room. He should have been home from school by now.
You don't think he changed his mind about going to that rally, do you?
Let's find out.
We can never forget the horrors that took place. But if we are to go on, we must somehow learn to live together in this world in peace.
We must destroy the myth of the Holocaust, which of course never happened. A myth cultivated by the Jew to gain pity for himself.
Liar! Liar!
Joseph Solomon's life ended here in a pool of blood, just a few blocks from his home. The same home where his father, Everett Solomon, was delivering a speech on world peace as his son lay dying. This is Ed Gaines reporting.
We done it. That is national news. We are big time.
I didn't feel nothing said good.
Sure shut that kid up.
That ought to throw the fear of God into the rest of them.
Hey, come over here.
Upon hearing of the shooting of his son, Everett Solomon collapsed and was rushed to the hospital. Mr. Solomon, a widower, has been in poor health for some years, the result of time spent in a concentration camp in Nazi Germany. His condition was listed as critical.
Hey, Rolf, where's your dad?
Upstairs.
Go tell him it looks like we killed two birds with one stone.
Okay.
Go ahead.
To the order.
To the order.
We're keeping this to celebrate. Well, tonight's the night. I can't believe it. We finally got the old man. Here we go, May. Come on, I want to make a toast. What the hell is wrong with you?
He was a boy.
He was a Jew boy. And his father was a kike.
I don't care. Cal murdered him.
He's the enemy.
Did you see your son tonight when he ran in here to tell you that boy's father was dying? He was thrilled.
He should be.
A 12-year-old boy happy because two people are dead instead of one? What kind of man is he going to grow up to be?
Maybe a great man. Maybe the kind of man that will continue on the most important mission in the history of the world. A mission from God.
From God?
Yes, God himself. To purify this country, May. To keep it safe at long last from the powers of Satan. Don't say anything to Rolf about this. Because he'll hate you for it.
God, why am I here? If only you'd given me a sign, I could have done something. Hasn't Everett Solomon suffered enough in his life? God, if ever a man deserved better, this surely must be the man.
All right, let's put it down right here. Wait till you see these, son.
I can't wait.
And there's more coming. Look at that. See what a little press can do, Cal?
Do I ever?
Wow, look at that.
You could sure quiet a crowd with that.
Where'd you get these, Dad?
From our friends. From friends of our cause, boy.
Can I hold it?
Sure.
Man, look at it, Dad. Rambo.
Cal? We got momentum now. I want to keep this thing going. I don't want them Jews getting any sympathy because of that kid.
Not much you can do about that.
Yes, there is. We can call some police agencies, federal agencies, and tell them who killed that kid.
What?
Yeah, we'll tell them it was the JDL or another Jew group.
Well, who's going to believe that? I mean, what reason would they have?
A very good one. They killed the kid and blamed it on anti-Semites to further their own cause for sympathy. It's no different than blaming Hitler for killing the Jews during World War II. We notify the press. They check with the federal agencies. They can't deny the calls. They won't.
And you think people believe it?
Well, hell yes. Everyone knows how cunning Jews are. Think about it. Imagine they killed one of their own to further their own cause. Oh, what a story. What press? What do you think?
I think you think like a Jew.
Don't you ever say that?
Jan, I didn't mean nothing.
Don't you ever say that?
Hey, I won't, man. I'm sorry.
Hey, Dad.
Yes, boy.
Where's the...
In local news, Jan Bolton, shot at his home last night, has been rushed to the hospital. The leader of the extremist white supremacist organization calling itself The Order lies near death only 2 floors below the room where Everett Solomon fights for his own life. He's being kept alive by life support systems, but hospital reports list him as being brain dead. The circumstances of the shooting are still unclear at the moment. A pro-Israeli task force at first was blamed, but now police reports suggest that Baltic was accidentally shot by his son Rolf following a rally held yesterday by his organization.
Jonathan?
The police were notified by the wife of the victim, who remains under house arrest for her own protection.
Come out. Just won't come out.
Hello, May.
How'd you get in here? There are police upstairs.
I know, it's all right. I wanted to talk to you.
It was an accident. Rolf didn't mean it. He loved his daddy. This stain will not come out! He was a good father. He was loving and gentle. He just wanted to make everything better, safer. This country is going to hell, and he just wanted to save it. Save it!
When did he start to change, May?
Change?
From the loving, caring father, when did he start to change?
I don't know, really. After he lost his job at the plant, he came home. He said he got fired because of some Jew auditor. That's what he said. After that, he blamed the Jews for everything. War, jobs, hunger. It was always the Jews, the Jews. I tried to laugh it off. But then as Rolf started growing up, he began filling his head with the same things. It was hate. Just hate. That's why he's dead. That's what killed him.
The father of the boy who was shot is fighting for his life.
I know, I heard it on TV. Cal killed him, I told the police.
Everett Solomon needs a new heart, May. But he needs a donor with a strong heart.
God, but my Jan was a physical specimen. He was. He was always working out. His weights are still in the closet. I love to hear his heart beating after he worked out. He would just go bang, bang.
It's still beating, May. Jan's heart's still beating. It could save that old man's life.
What? You mean Jan's heart?
That's right. But only you can make it happen.
Jan's heart in the old Jew. All the bad things they'll say about him. Bound to. This might make a difference. They'd have to say that it was his heart that saved the old man. They'd have to say that. Okay. You go on. You take his heart. It was a good heart. You hear his wife talking now. A very good heart. And a strong and healthy one, too.
Thank you, May. Mr. Solomon. How are you feeling, sir?
Impotent. They don't allow allow me to hear a radio or TV. The latest rumor is that Bolt was shot by his son. Accidentally. Shot accidentally.
It's true.
Justice has not been meted out.
Why?
The man was an animal. He needed to be shot.
But he was shot, sir.
Accidentally. There's no solace in that. Vengeance. I need my vengeance.
Well, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord.
You don't understand. You don't know. Your son was not murdered.
Excuse me, Mr. Solomon. Look, I'm really sorry about this. Honestly, I am. But can you talk Max Billings' journal?
All right, let's go.
No, wait, please. I can really use a quote from you.
Not now, Mr. Billings.
What
please.
about the fact that they gave you Jan Balt Hart?
What?
Jan Balt, the Nazi. How does it feel knowing that his heart beats inside your body?
After a series of bizarre events in which the heart of a neo-Nazi leader, who must bear most of the responsibility for the death of a young Jewish high school student, has been transplanted into the chest of that boy's father, the man, philanthropist Everett Solomon, accidentally learned whose heart he had received. Since that time, his condition has deteriorated rapidly. Doctors now have given up hope of survival.
John, I understand how you feel, but what can you do? I mean, after everything that man has been through, I mean, you can't blame him for giving up.
Oh, yes, I can, Mark. It's because of all he's been through that I can't blame him. Everett Solomon.
Leave me alone. Let me die.
After all you've been through, you give up now.
I am not giving up. I am having my vengeance. The heart of my son's murderer will stop beating. I will see to it.
You call that vengeance, giving them 2 lives instead of 1?
Yes. Yes. He silenced my boy's heart. Now I will silence his.
You sound like Jan Balt talking.
Would you dare say that to me? Would you dare compare me with that Nazi's swine?
You're speaking from hate. You're allowing the same kind of hate that destroyed Jan Balt to destroy you.
I spent 3 years in a death camp.
And lived. And now you have to try to live again. Your father's last words, his last hope was with you. He needed your life to validate his then. The whole world needs your life now. Don't you see, Everett, your life is the Nazis' greatest defeat. After everything they did to you, you rise and you go on. Alive, you're a symbol of hope, of courage. Live for all those that died at their hands. Live for your father and your mother. And live for your son. find it. Find the strength. Pray for it, Everett. Pray for it.
Jonathan, I can't. I can't. I can't.
You must live. You promised me.
Grandfather's right. You can't let them win. You must fight. You must carry the torch for all of us now.
Don't let them win, my son. Don't let the world ever forget. Fight, my son. Fight. 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 Fight.
Please, Mr. Solomon, how are you feeling?
How should I feel? It's a beautiful morning.
Can you say a few words to our listeners?
I speak to you today for my father, my mother, and my son, who can no longer speak for themselves, but through me. I speak to you today with gratefulness to my doctors, to my God, to my friends. I speak to you today with a new passion for life and new conviction. We must all fight against hatred and prejudice in this world. We must never give up until all men can live without fear, in peace, regardless of his religion or his race. We can accomplish this lofty goal, not through vengeance, but through understanding, through reasoning and goodwill. I speak to you today from my heart.